the British Transport Police have launched the bursary. I don't know if you read this or
Yes,
have
I
seen
did.
this. So they've launched a bursary for, not black students by the way, so this is British African students to study law. So this is basically, if you're a British African student and you want to study law, we've got a bursary, but only British African students can apply. And what they want to fight in the force is a thing called Afriphobia.
Yeah, new word made up.
New word made up. So they somehow, and how the hell they got there, I've got no idea, they've determined there's a thing called Afriphobia, which is not racism or fear of black people. It's a particular phobia or hatred of
people who come from Africa.
People who come from Africa, such as Elon Musk.
Yeah.
so they've launched a bursary. They'll give money to a British African student studying law, potentially, so they can help them then. So probably no obligation to go work there. But the reason this is interesting is my son trained with PwC. So he's a chartered accountant trained with PwC. When he's in PwC, he forwarded me an advert in PwC, which was for a scholarship funded by PwC for black students to study chartered accounting, but only black students could apply.
Yeah.
So for me, unless I'm missing something, and I'm interested in you enlightening me if I'm wrong, I see this as racial discrimination.
Yeah.
Is it racial discrimination?
By the law, no, it's not. Because racial discrimination in this context is only if it's a paid job.
Right.
So training, bursaries, all those things don't come under the legislation, only paid employment.
So you're allowed to be, in my view, racist if it's not...
Yeah, paid employment, yeah.
Okay.
So when Stormzy gave 10 million to universities only for black students for bursaries, a English millionaire then tried to give 10 million to the universities for poor white working class males for bursaries, and every university refused the money and said no, it's racist.
But it wasn't illegal.
Well, it was illegal, but they didn't want to do it because they did not perceive white working class males as worthy of bursaries to go to their university. So they turned the money down. Have you ever heard of a university turning money down?
That is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, just on that point, and this is, and by the way, I'm not saying that British African students shouldn't get a bursary to study Afrophobia, but in terms of the actual most, what's the word I'm looking for? The people who have the worst position in British society, my understanding is it's not young black men in this country. And can you tell me more about that? Because
so it depends what matrix you're looking at. So if you're looking at education, the group that does worst and goes to university the least is white working class males.
Yes.
So black males go to university more than white working class males do. You look at prisons, we all think black males are overrepresented in prisons, which they are, but the group that's even more overrepresented in jails are white travellers.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you look through all these things, and sometimes it may be, and the Asian group's doing worse or the black group's doing worse, but over many things it's white working class boys who are failing education in this country. And for this story, I worked with the British Transport Police many times. They were actually, 20 years ago, they were actually better than Greater Manchester Police. The officers were more professional, harder working, went above and beyond. Did a lot of work with them. They were absolutely great. But they've took a dive now. It started a couple of years ago, the first time I realised, when they put was it on Twitter? They put an advertisement on Twitter, a recruitment tweet, saying, we support LGBT, If you don't support it, don't apply to work for us.
Oh yes, I remember that, yeah.
So that's discrimination straight away.
Yeah.
And this story now, so Afriphobia. The first thing I'd like to ask him is, why are you only picking black African? Because there's many people in Africa, especially North Africa, who are brown, not black.
Yeah.
So you're saying there's such thing as Afriphobia, But by your advertisement, you've now discriminated against people of brown African descent.
Yeah.
So they've shown their racism there straight away. I would say that also includes the Caribbean, because I reckon they will say, oh no, Caribbean, black people in the Caribbean are black African descent, because that's where they came from. So I don't think they're discriminating against the Caribbeans. I think they'll word that for that.
Right. But they're discriminating against the brown
Africans. Yeah, well, the brown Caribbeans, the brown Africans.
There's lots of Asians in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
There's lots of whites in the Caribbean who've been there for generations. Yeah. And there's lots of whites in Africa as well, in South Africa, who've been there for generations as well.
So discriminate against all of them.
Yeah.
The woman who's running, the Chief Constable of the British Transport Police, I don't know who appoints the Chief Constable for the British Transport Police. It's the Police Crime Commissioner who appoints Chief Constables for forces locally. So it must be the Home Office, I don't know, worth looking into. A blonde, pretty woman, that's who runs the British Transport Police. You look at her and you go, yes, we know why you're sat in that chair. You're a diversity recruitment. You're a woman. You've been pushed up the ranks, and here you are now, Chief Constable, endorsing this rubbish.
But she may not be. She may be incredibly talented and very capable. But going back to your point, when you see people in these positions, automatically you think, is that a diversity hire? That's what you're saying.
Automatically. And 99 times out of 100, you'll be correct that it's a diversity hire. And the reason why she's a problem, again, is because there's far too many women in the police force. Right? There's too many. There's many places in the police force where we need women, and women should be working and be police officers. There's spaces for them. But this drive to get 50-50 is killing all our police forces, because most women are not up for the job. And most women don't want to do the job, so therefore we're picking women out of a smaller and smaller pool of women who want to be police officers, and by definition it's full of rubbish police officers. So that's not saying all women are rubbish police officers. I work with some who are amazing, and they should remain police officers, but we keep lowering the bar and we're getting more and more rubbish. You saw the video yesterday of that special constable in London telling some gospel singer on the street,
oh yes,
you cannot sing church songs outside.
Yeah.
You need the permission of the church to sing those songs. Like, are you mental?
Yeah. But that I just want to defend the police there, because that I'm 100% sure that is not a police policy or a legal requirement. That's just a very thick woman.
Incompetent police officer.
Yes, yeah.
And that's what we're recruiting now, to fill diversity boxes. We're getting more and more incompetence.
Yeah.
So the woman who runs the British Transport Police...
I'm sure that is not a police directive.
No, it's not. It's illegal. You can see whatever you want on the street.
It's just a very thick woman saying a stupid thing.
But how did she become a police officer?
Because that is a very germane point. Yeah.
But the Chief Constable, the British Transport Police, again, females more compassionate, more tolerant, more, kumbaya, let's all have group hugs. And those traits are sneaking into these institutions where we need more masculinity, not more femininity. Hence why we get silly stuff like that.
Yeah.
We can't get black Africans to join the British Transport Police. Oh dear, do you know what? Let's send some to university to be lawyers. My conscience is clear now.
Yeah.
And that is the bigotry of low expectations. That the only way we can improve the lives of black people in the UK is by throwing money at them.
Mm. It's interesting what you said about the police. I think I might have told you this story before, but I don't think I've said it on the podcast. I think a Romanian football team came to play in London.
Yep.
And the Romanian fans are pretty tough guys. Yep. And they were causing trouble towards the end of the match. The Metropolitan Police came to sort them out, and the Romanian guys chased them away.
Chased them away?
they just, and the police scarpered.
Yeah.
They were scared of them, they couldn't handle them, and they just ran, basically.
And misgendered some of the police officers. But they're still getting therapy for that.
And this is the British police force we have now. They can be chased away by some Romanian guys.
You've seen videos online now where you've got 4 officers, usually 2 women, 2 men, trying to arrest a 17-year-old
Yes,
youth,
yeah.
and they can't hold him.
Yeah, they
and
can't physically hold him. Yeah,
it's just pathetic. It's like, you shouldn't be police officers.
Yeah.
You're not capable to do the job.
Yeah.
And it's even more dangerous in the fire service.
Yeah.
You've got an 8-stone woman trying to pull out a 16-stone man from a burning fire.
Yeah.
And with lowered recruitment standards in the fire service, well, to get more women joining, they're not strong enough. The vast majority of them, and they're going to cost people their lives.
So this thing in the British Transport Police then is basically a symptom of the fact of the way they employ people now.
Yeah, they were 20 years ago, they were the best force I worked with, the British Transport Police. All their officers were excellent. Their PCSOs were fantastic. Were better than some of GMP's full police officers. I'm very disappointed in them. If you like that video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell and comment. And if you like what I'm saying about running for Mayor of Greater Manchester, then stick around. Tell your family, tell your friends. The only way I'm going to have a chance of winning is a grassroots movement. So be part of that movement and hit that bell. Thanks.